and welcome to this month's community conversation. I am Feli Garcia Lopez from Team Flip, and I am a Latina mom, an educator, a wife, and I'm super proud about it. Today, we will be discussing and celebrating Hispanic heritage. What is it? Why is it important? Why it matters? ¿Por qué es tan importante? I have invited some awesome friends, and together we will share and reflect about the history, heritage, nuestra cultura, and how it has shaped and continues to shape our lives as educators, como padres de familia, como estudiantes. Because our heritage is our identity. It is what makes each one of us unique. It is who we are. Así que, ¿están listos? Let's bring our amazing guest in. Hola, hola, hola.
Hola, buenas.
Hola.
Hola. Hello. Hola, buenas tardes, and welcome to today's community conversation. Muchísimas gracias a cada uno de ustedes por estar aquí, a nuestra familia, a nuestra audiencia, con muchísimo amor. Today's discussion is in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we will be sharing the role our culture plays in our lives and how Flip can help us express ourselves, share, learn, create, and simply be who we are, quienes somos. Tengo el inmenso honor y el inmenso placer de presentarles a todos ustedes, querida familia Flip. With me today, I have my beautiful hermana Yaritza Villalba, mi gran amigo Ricardo Recinos y nuestro estudiante del día de hoy, Omar López. Why don't we start by having each one of you introduce yourselves?
Buenas todos y todas. Yo soy Yarixa Villalba y yo vivo en Nueva York. So I live in New York. Yo soy panameña y colombiana. And I work as an educator innovation lead at Flip. Ricardo, what about you?
Hola a todos, bienvenidos, welcome. So my name is Ricardo Recinos. I live in West Covina, which is about 20 minutes away from Los Angeles. I was born in El Salvador, but left when I was 14 years old, escaping the Civil War. I grew up in East Los Angeles, and I have a profound love for my Salvadoran heritage, but also for the Mexican culture growing up in East Los Angeles, right? Especialmente la comida y la música. I'm a technology resource teacher for Hacienda La Puente Unified Schools District. Omar?
Hola a todos. Hello, everyone. My name is Omar Lopez. I am a Hispanic Mexican American, and I currently live in South Texas. I am a student and Mexican folklorico dancer at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. I am very excited to be here.
Muchísimas gracias a cada uno de ustedes y wow, los panelistas que tenemos el día de hoy. Y familia Flip, please share photos, favorite moments, questions, anything really on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, at Microsoft Flip. Tell us where you're tuning in from and let us know what Hispanic heritage means to you and how you're using Flip with your community, or share maybe any new ideas you get from this discussion. Vamos a empezar con las ideas, con el amor y que las ideas fluyan. So let's get started. Is everybody ready? ¿Listos? Here is our first topic of the day. Why is it important to teach or to learn about heritage? Yaritza Preciosa, mi hermana querida, empezamos contigo.
Gracias. I love this question. It's important to teach or to learn about heritage because heritage is culture. It is everything that has been passed down to you. It is tu lenguaje, how do you speak? And I know for sure that I was raised to understand that in order to appreciate someone's heritage, I have to first learn about who I am. What could I contribute to the community as an individual? And so it's really important because you're getting to know yourself, and that's what lets you break down all of your biases and all of your walls. And that way you can really embrace someone else's culture. Ricardo?
Yeah, as a whole, learning and teaching about heritage definitely leads to a better understanding of social culture, social change over time. But for our students, I think just it means appreciating who they truly are, being able to connect with their culture, gaining perspective about their past, and using that perspective to shape their future. Learning to connect with each other. We just went through a pandemic where we all felt alone, right? And having that understanding, having those connections with our teachers, with our community, with our family, it's going to help our students feel less alone. And finally, just the ability to be able to understand not just our own heritage, but the heritage of others, so that we can protect that heritage and we can work together and build it. Omar, ¿qué piensas tú? What do you think?
Well, throughout my life, I've learned and experienced different aspects of my culture that have brought me closer to my own Hispanic roots. And learning about my Hispanic heritage, it's not only allowed me to become closer and more united to those around me, but as a student, I've been able to participate in a community of art and dance. Learning about the history and the culture of my own heritage, it's given me the opportunity to meet and to learn from other students. And they're not only just from my hometown, but also from those from other states such as California, Colorado, Nevada, but also from those from other Spanish-speaking countries. I've had the opportunity to meet people from Mexico, anybody from South America, and even from España.
Excelente, excelente. Muchísimas gracias por sus respuestas. And I love what you all said. I think I like that you mentioned that the more that we learn about ourselves, the more that we respect others, the more that we include others, the more that we love others, because it is about heritage. It's about love. It's about becoming one. So let's continue with this conversation. Muchísimas gracias por sus respuestas. Estoy viendo el chat también, que está explosivo. Nuestra familia está también mostrándonos todo su corazón. Thank you all so much for participating in the chat. The chat is going lovely. It's going awesome. But it is time to move to our next topic. Everybody ready? Listísimos? What is one successful way I help my students or my community feel proud of their heritage?
I'll answer this question. Gracias, hermana. So one way that I've successfully used or celebrated Hispanic heritage with my community and felt just a sense of pride in it was when I created and I wrote Mackenzie's Bisabuela, or La Bisabuela de Mackenzie. This book was literally about my family. We migrated here in 1991 and we didn't have much. And for most of us, when you don't have much, the things that you cling to are those traditions, the things that make you feel wanted and loved. And so coming to this country after the invasion, my family was just, puro vida. Everything was, let's do everything juntas, everything together, whether if it's cooking, whether if it's bailando, gozando, celebrando. We celebrated everything together. And so with this book, it was just my homage to being Afro-Latina and understanding that traditions and culture is what has made me who I am today. It is what I cling to every time I feel like I've had too much or enough of something. I know that I can go back and say, pero mi abuela dije, or my mom said, or my grandmother said, and I know I can go back to those words. Ricardo, ¿y tú qué?
Sabes, when I was in the classroom, I was lucky to be an advisor for our Mecha Club. And we put on this humongous talent show. And just to be able to see our students reciting poetry in Spanish, singing rock en español in our Battle of the Bands, or dancing un merengue or una salsa in front of their teachers, their parents, their community, just brought so much pride. Lately, I've been lucky enough to do a show about technology, and it's been great to do the show, but what we've noticed is the importance to show representation, the importance of our students being able to see themselves in us. And we've been able to bring guests where our students can see themselves in us, and it's just been so great. I think that's such a key. Omar, ¿qué tal tú? How about you?
Well, one of the biggest ways I've helped spread pride and love to those in my community, it's through my participation in Mexican folklorico dancing. Before I started dancing, at first I had no interest in dancing. I had no interest in folklorico. And honestly, the only reason I joined was because I didn't want to play sports. But as soon as I joined, I immediately fell in love with it. And since then, I have been dancing in my high school, in my middle school, and in my university. And I've also danced with private groups for the past 10 years. I've been able to share amor, pasión, alegría with everyone in my community. And I've also had the opportunity to share this on social media so anybody across the world can take a little piece of my culture home with them.
Muchísimas gracias y excelente. And look at the answers that you all shared. Beautiful answers. But we talk about representation. We talk about literature. We talk about books. We talk about our stories and continue with stories with our own family members so that our traditions continue. El amor continúa. Nuestras tradiciones continúan. Nuestro amor y nuestro respeto a nuestro heritage. So I really love, I want to go back to you, my hermosa hermana, books, right? The importance of reading our stories, on sharing our stories for our students. And Ricardo, you talk about representation. I mean, look at the four of us right now. We're representing. We have students in our classroom that are looking at us because they might see themselves in us. So it's all about representation. Omar, hablaste de esa representación, de llevar ese amor, de traducir ese amor dentro de la cultura, dentro del baile. And that's what Hispanic heritage is all about. Somos una misma familia con muchísimo amor y muchísimo respeto para cada uno de ustedes. And all right. Se está poniendo bueno, cada vez más bueno esto. So let's move on to our next topic, which is one way I've used Flip or plan to use Flip to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
This is asking a question about two of my favorite things, Flip and Hispanic heritage. In my household, Hispanic Heritage Month is literally every single day. And I love to just show my pride in cooking. So I created a Cooking for Culture group on Flip. And the idea is that educators around the world put in different recipes. And what I've learned is that we all share similarities in how we cook y también el sabor de la comida, or how it tastes, right? Especially when we think about the African diaspora and just people being left in different parts of the world, we all share one common thing, and that's culture. And so with the Cooking with Culture group, I love it because I'm learning something new each day, but I'm also making that connection to being Afro-Latina and being Latina and saying, wow, this is really a part of who I am. Ricardo?
¿A dónde comienzo? Oh my God, where do I start? You know, I'm blessed to come from a district where I can tell you that we have over 10,000 Flip videos. Our students and our teachers have embraced Flip. We've given our students a voice. I've seen our little elementary kids doing flips on Hispanic iconic people. I've seen them using green screen to talk about famous Latinos. I've seen our VAPA, our visual and performing artosas, creating Guatemala worry dolls with our students and with our teachers, also doing alebrijes, and to see our teachers and our students going on Flip and talking about it, talking about the powers that the alebrije has, giving it a name. I mean, it's just everywhere. So we're so proud of being able to use Flip at our district. Omar, how about you?
Well, as a student, Flip has given me the opportunity to learn about my own heritage, of course. But it has also given me a wonderful and diverse community of Hispanics from everywhere across the world. Because of this, I've been able to meet and connect with other Hispanics, and I've also been able to spread my knowledge and my culture. With Flip, I was able to transition from a student and now to a teacher by giving me the tools to teach folklorico. By creating video tutorials and video groups, I am slowly gaining the experience that I need in dance education, which will allow me to further excel in my studies. I plan on studying ballet folklorico at my university, and I am working towards one day having my own professional dance company. I've been using Flip to connect with everyone in the Hispanic community, and I have access to opportunities that I wouldn't normally have without Flip.
Excelente. Muchísimas gracias. And we go back, Yaritza, you were saying these cooking lessons, right? Where our students, our community is sharing their love. Ya me dio hambre, hermana, la verdad, de unos taquitos así deliciosos. It is part of our culture. It is part of what we do. And what an excellent way to bring all of our family members to participate in one topic, in one subject, which is celebrating our Hispanic Heritage Month por medio de la cocina, por medio de cocinar. Ricardo, you talk about your students, our students, because your students are my students, right? This is not about your students o los estudiantes de México o los estudiantes de California o los estudiantes de Texas. It's about our students in our entire planet. No importa qué idioma hablen, no importa el color de piel. This is when we love what we do, when we love teaching, it's all about our students. And you talk about representation. You talk about our students talking about famous people within their culture, this feeling proud about it. And Omar, you also talk about that, being proud of who you are and also sharing ideas and making this global, right? Making these connections and how Flip allow you to transition from sharing what you love, which is dancing, to teaching what you love, which is dancing. So amazing, amazing ideas. Thank you all so much for sharing every single idea with us today, por compartir su corazón, por compartir sus ideas con cada uno de nosotros. Y el chat sigue, pero dando vuelo. Muchísimas gracias, muchísimas gracias. So, before we wrap up, I have one very special thing I want us to do all together, juntitos como familia, como comunidad, as a community of parents, as a community of educators, as a community of students, como familia. Because, my friends, learning and celebrating each other's heritage, and I'm going to say that again, each other's heritage can teach us to understand, can teach us empathy, and it can teach us respect for each other. Nos puede enseñar esta empatía, este entendimiento y este respeto que se necesita muchísimo, muchísimo, muchísimo hoy en día. El respeto, el amor, el entendimiento y la empatía por cada uno de todo el mundo, en todo el mundo, de todos nosotros. So, with that in mind, I'm going to ask all of you, the four of us here, right here, and also our audience, our Flip Familia, I want you to close your eyes, por favorcito, cierren sus ojitos bellos, and I want you to take a moment to think about the following. ¿Listos? ¿Listas? Aquí va. In one or two or three words, what does Hispanic heritage mean to you? So once you are ready, please drop your words, Flip Familia, drop your words in the chat. Together, we are going to create one word cloud that represents your ideas, your voice, you. Vamos a crear una lluvia de ideas, de palabras que nos representan nuestras ideas, nuestras voces y nos representan a cada uno de nosotros. And Yaritza, Ricardo, and Omar, while we wait for our familia to participate in the chat, porque el chat está así, what are some words that describe Hispanic heritage for you? ¿Quién va primero, mis amigos? ¿Quién va primero?
Yo voy primera.
Dale, mi vida linda. Dale, hermana.
So because we threw so many terms out there today, one word that really sticks and comes to mind is preservation. There is so much power in storytelling. There is so much power in sitting someone down and saying, hey, these are my experiences. Preserving my family's culture or the culture of being Panamanian has really helped my family through some tough times. Being able to laugh at some of my mom's, funny experiences, or being able to sit down and really learn about, I don't know, like my bisabuela came from, I didn't know she was from Great Britain until I started to ask questions. And then the question after that is, well, then how did she get there, right? And just being able to create your own family tree because you've asked questions, but also you sat down and you listened to those stories. So definitely preservation is what comes to mind. Ricardo, mi amigo Ricardo.
Traté de pensar en una, pero tengo tres. I couldn't just come up with one, okay? So I have three. The first one is just thankful. Being thankful for my mom's sacrifices to come to this country for better opportunities for me. The second one is celebrating who I am, but celebrating our stories, our cultural backgrounds, right? Our contributions, right? And the last one, I think, Feli, you said it, representation, so that our students can see themselves in us. That's huge for me. Omar, how about you?
I wish I could have chosen 1,000 words, but I also had to choose 3 words. And my 3 words are passion, love, and pride. I think these 3 words come directly from the heart. We need to be passionate, we need to be full of love, and we need to always be prideful of who we are. And I think these are the best 3 words that best, I guess, identify what it means to be Hispanic and to share our culture with everyone. So everything that we need to do for Hispanic Heritage Month needs to come from the heart, full of love, full of passion, and full of pride.
Excelente, excelente. Muchísimas gracias. En familia, keep dropping those words in the chat, familia. This is beautiful. I see learning. I see todo con amor. I see community. I see acceptance, resilience. Ay, Dios mío, muchísimas gracias por participar en el chat. En el chat está genial. Esto nos llena de orgullo, nos llena de representación, because this is our heritage. This is who we are. So thank you all so much. Y vamos a ver if our word cloud is ready. Let me see. Ahí viene. Y wow, miren nada más las palabras que tenemos aquí. Look at the words that we have. We have traditions, we have accomplishments, we have resilience, family, bicultural, pride, bilingual, celebration, love, Spanish. I mean, we've been speaking English, Spanish, and Spanglish. Look at a lot of those words, like how they come straight from the heart. What do you all think? Let me see. Yaritza, Ricardo, Omar, ¿qué les dice su corazón al ver esta word cloud?
I'm stunned. But 2 words that really stand out the most to me is traditions and bicultural. As an Afro-Latina, I grew up not knowing whether I fit in the Black side or the Latina side. And so to see bicultural together, I'm like, yes, but I didn't really learn the true essence of being Afro-Latina until I grew up and I understood more about myself, right? Because Latinos, we have so many shades. We are people of so many colors, but sometimes within our community, it becomes difficult to appreciate the different colores, right? The different cultures and the colors. And so just thinking about that term bicultural, I'm like, yes. And I wish that when I was growing up, someone really explained the essence of being Black and also Latina together as one, and not making me feel like, I had to choose between the two. Ricardo, palabras.
I see too, resilience. You talked about being an ESL student. I was an ESL student in high school, not knowing English at all, but at the same time, education, having this amazing teacher that you might have heard of, Jaime Escalante, if you ever watched Stand and Deliver, and calculus, and just him being able to change the lives of so many kids. So that was for me resilience to just stick with it, but also the importance of education for us to be able to succeed and become role models for our students. Those are the 2. Omar, ¿y tú?
I think the 2 words that stand out the most for me are, of course, pride and bilingual. Being bilingual is probably one of the things that I'm most grateful for. I've had the opportunity to learn both English and Spanish. And I think that something that a lot of people my age specifically should be very proud of being bilingual, of being able to speak English, Spanish, or any other language that they want. And we need to always be proud of having the opportunity to reach not only communities from Hispanic countries, but also from their own countries.
Excelente, excelente. Muchísimas gracias. And then and the chat continues and continues sharing your ideas, your love, your corazón with all of us, because that's exactly the reason why we're here. We talk about representation, representing our students, but also as educators, it's coming all of us together and talk about this, because Hispanic Heritage Month and every celebration about it is or shouldn't be only a month. This should be a conversation that should be happening 365 every day in the classroom with our students, with our family, because it's about celebrating who we are. De esta manera va a haber más aceptación y más representación y más amor, which is exactly what we need. So, Omar, Yaritza, Ricardo, thank you so much for your time, por su inspiración, por su corazón. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Muchísimas gracias por haber hablado del alma, del corazón. Anything else you would like to add for our beautiful audience today? Hermana mía?
I think Omar has something to say first.
I do. I just want to say one big thank you to the educators around the world. I want to give you just the biggest thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for allowing us to learn and to share our heritage and our culture to everyone around us. To my fellow students, we must always remember our roots and always be proud of who we are. Never be afraid of being Hispanic. Be proud of our family, our culture, and our language. Our heritage will always be a part of us, and we should always share our love and passion with everyone. Again, muchas gracias a todos. Ricardo, to you.
Yeah, thank you, Omar. I know you talked about the importance of being bilingual. So let's remember, language is culture and culture is language, right? I had a very wise person once tell me, if we don't tell our stories, someone's going to tell our stories for us. So let's be proud of who we are. Let's be proud and let's make sure that we tell our own stories. Yarita?
And I also would love to include speak up, whether if it's against racism, discrimination, colorism. It's okay to acknowledge when something is wrong and stand up to it. So whether you're feeling bad because someone said something or they made an assumption about you, please do so. I know a lot of my experience as a child, as an Afro-Latina, I didn't speak up when I was supposed to. And now as an adult, I take every single chance and every prideful moment that I have to say, I know, así no es, like you can't say that to me anymore, right? But this experience and this conversation is amazing. So gracias por todo. Y mi hermana, gracias.
Gracias a ti, hermana mía. And yes, and speak up, right? And also, we all make mistakes. We are not perfect. We talk about being ESL students. The four of us right here, we are ESL students because we're still learning a language. Language is always evolving. Even your L1, your first language, it is always evolving. So all of us are language learners, and all of us as educators are language teachers. So it is a responsibility of all of us. And it's about accepting those mistakes. We were practicing because we wanted this conversation to be perfect for you all. So we have meetings before these so that we could have everything perfect for you all. And we all make mistakes. I said, hermana mía, when it was supposed to be Omar, because Omar said, I have a beautiful message for our educators. And thank you, Omar, for sharing that. But it's all about showing that vulnerability to our students. Just like we as teachers make mistakes, our students make mistakes as well. No somos perfectos y no esperemos perfección de nuestros estudiantes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we as ESL students, sometimes we are required to show perfection in the way that we speak. And every language is beautiful. Every accent is beautiful as well. Muchísimas gracias a cada uno de ustedes. Nuevamente, thank you for your time. Yaritza, Ricardo, Omar, thank you for su inspiración. Muchísimas gracias. Gracias por su tiempo. Y continuamos. Gracias, 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 gracias. This was an amazing conversation. And as I said, Flip can help you not only celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, but every student's culture and identity in your classroom and your community. Think about all the topics, the questions, the discussions that you can start right on Flip. It is just as easy as creating your topic and sharing it with your group of students, with your family, with your community, inside of the classroom, outside of the classroom. Así que recuerden, mis amigos, if you can think it, you can flip it. Now, if you're looking for more ideas or good practices, our Flip Fam has you covered. Join our community and come and learn, connect, and share at flip.com/think it, flip it. Así de fácil. Está el QR code on the screen. If you scan that QR code on the screen, it'll take you to this beautiful group that we created for you all. And even though we're wrapping up for today's conversation, we have Flip events every week for your classroom. More community conversations like this one and weekly professional development. Talleres para todos ustedes, oportunidades de talleres to help you get started with Flip. So for that, head to aka.ms/Flip events to find the right type of activity for you. Así que, this is it for today. Muchísimas gracias por habernos acompañado. Thank you all so much. I'm your host, Feli Garcia Lopez, and on behalf of Flip and our amazing guest, mi hermana Yaritza, mi gran amigo Ricardo y nuestro estudiante del día de hoy, Omar, muchísimas gracias. Thank you. Muchísimas gracias for spending your precious time with all of us. Nos vemos y hasta la próxima. Muchísimas gracias, muchísimas gracias.